What it is, what it do, cyber world, it is your girl, the one and only Ash Said It, ashsaidit.com, ashsaidit.com. Welcome back to the Ash Said It Daily Podcast Show. I appreciate you guys for all your love, all your support. Thank you so much. 500,000 streams worldwide and growing daily would not be possible without each and every one of you guys. Today, we are joined by Dr. Mark McKenna. Hello, Dr. McKenna.
How are you, Ash?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing today?
I'm amazing. Thank you for asking.
Awesome. All right, so Dr. McKenna, let everybody know, where are you from? Where do you represent?
I was born in Washington, D.C., but I grew up and all my family is from New Orleans, Louisiana, so that's home for me.
Okay, cool. When you were a kid,
yes, I am a Saints fan.
Oh, you're okay. You know what? But you're repping the A now. We've kind of adopted you. You know, we're pulling you over, pulling you over to this side. All right. As a kid, what was your dream job?
It's pretty. It's not glamorous. I think I wanted to be a lawyer.
Okay.
For most of my childhood years, but I come from a family of physicians. So to make a long story short, my father has two brothers, and one of his brothers is a physician, and my mother has two sisters, and all three of the sisters married physicians. So you can imagine, probably in my immediate family, I have 20 or 30 MDs between them and their kids.
Right.
So it's pretty much all I knew growing up, and I think I just kind of fell into that.
Yeah, no pressure, Mark. No pressure to go into the,
No pressure.
And as you were really figuring out your own ground and what your future was going to be, what were some of the obstacles that you faced as you were pursuing this dream?
God, so many. I mean, I think transitioning. I'm a medical doctor by training, but over time, I've evolved into an entrepreneur. And I think coming from that sort of science and medical background, transitioning into business has been quite a challenge because I didn't have the basic fundamentals of finance and accounting that maybe a business major might have. So I think I had to learn many things the hard way. I'm not ashamed to say that, just through trial and error and beating my head into the wall. But over time, I think I've been able to surround myself with very smart people. I've been fortunate enough to get some good mentors over the years, and I think that's made a big difference. And then, later in life, I actually went back and got an MBA to kind of round, to complement the sort of hands-on experience I had with more of a formal education in business, which was extremely helpful to me. So I think, I've had basically any mistake that could possibly be made, I've made it. But I think that's part of the growing process and learning process. And I think, frankly, all business people go through that. So I don't think I'm unique there. What
was the pivotal point where ShapeMed came into play?
Yes, that's kind of an interesting story. I diversified out of medicine at an early age into real estate and a bunch of other things in New Orleans, and I built up a pretty successful business outside of medicine, doing sort of turnkey, boutique real estate development, finance, and land development and title work all in-house. And I had grown that company up to about 55 employees. I was doing quite well at a young age and was wiped out by Hurricane Katrina in, I think it was 2005.
Yeah.
I think it was about that. Overnight, a lot of the properties I owned were devalued. My employees were scattered all over the country. Our cash flow went to zero, and it was really just kind of a gut check. Again, this is not unique to me, and there were many other people in New Orleans who went through similar situations, but, we just kind of had to pick up the pieces and start figuring out how do you get through that and how do you survive. But to make a very long story short, I started, the girl I was dating at the time relocated to Atlanta, so I would fly here on the weekends, fly home during the week, and ultimately made the decision to move to Atlanta in August 2007, so about 2 years later. And, I was, moving to Atlanta, it really wasn't a planned move for me, obviously because of Katrina, so I had an idea for ShapeMed, but in retrospect, it was part idea, part survival. But we opened in Buckhead in I think November 2007, and ultimately sold that business to a publicly traded company 7 years later, to the day. And it was a pretty awesome ride in retrospect.
Absolutely. All right, you guys, so we're going to take a brief break. When we come back, we're talking more with Dr. Mark McKenna, and we're going to talk a little bit of me. We're going to talk of me, and we're going to jump into that. So you guys hang tight for me, and we will be right back. Did you know that some foods can cause weight gain, body aches, and extreme fatigue? These are just some of the symptoms of food intolerance. Well, what is food intolerance? Food intolerance can occur when the body cannot properly digest certain foods. This can result in acid reflux, migraines, and so many other painful issues. How do you find out what foods are causing this irritation? It's easy. Pinner Test. With 500,000 satisfied clients worldwide, Pinner Test is the #1 way of identifying foods that may be causing discomfort. This simple at-home kit is easy to use with results usually within 2 weeks via email. It's that simple, all right? What are you waiting for? Go visit pinnertest.com and use my special promo code AshSaidIt for your discount today. Welcome back, you guys, to the Ash Said It Daily podcast show. I love and appreciate you guys so very much. We're talking with Dr. Mark McKenna, and we're talking of me. All right, so Dr. McKenna, you are an innovator in your field. You have been just spearheading so many different initiatives. Where did OVME come from?
Yes, so as I mentioned earlier, I sold my last medical practice to a publicly traded company, and that was a very sort of interesting experience. I'd always been used to, for lack of a better word, being in control of my own ship, but when you partner with a much larger company, there's some benefits and some drawbacks. But ultimately, after working with the publicly traded company for about 1.5 years, I decided to take a year off because my wife was having a baby, and it took a year just to kind of do deep dives into this, what has become OVME. But the idea is we are building a brand around retail medical aesthetics, and when I mean retail medical aesthetics, I mean things like Botox, Juvederm, cosmetic laser, basically cosmetic dermatology services. And as we analyze the market, we recognize that the market was robust and growing rapidly, but it was still very highly fragmented. And when I mean fragmented, I mean there was no national brand that had really established themselves in the space. So that's what my team and I have decided to do. So we kind of started working on the back of a napkin, and that evolved into a spreadsheet, and ultimately I was able to get funded through private equity. And so now we're private equity backed, and we are planning to build a nationwide company in the space. So it's exciting. Wow.
Well, congratulations. That is amazing. That is amazing work. Yes.
Yeah.
What would you recall as your most, as far as your business goes and your career, what has been your proudest moment?
Proudest moment? Wow, so many. I think a couple that stand out. One was the sale of my previous practice to the publicly traded company. I think that sort of affirmed what I had been working on. And then the launch of OVME. This project has been phenomenal. Again, the team, we've assembled a first-class team. As I mentioned, we have sophisticated capital behind us. So we've been able to really be patient and very very iterative about doing deep dives into everything from branding to user experience to consumer journey mapping to pricing to our digital presence. So I think this experience has been very rewarding in that it's been we started with a blank slate a year ago, and we're actually opening next week. So that's been amazing to be part of that.
Last but certainly not least, what words of wisdom could you drop on any person today that may be listening to this podcast and listening to your story and hearing your struggles and hearing your celebrations? What advice can you offer to them to expanding their horizons?
I could think of 4 off the top of my head, but number one is just simply persistence. Don't quit. You're never out of the fight until you decide you're out of the fight, and particularly if you're an entrepreneur or doing your own business or whatnot, you certainly will face obstacles. So persistence would probably be number one. The second would be surround yourself with winners, like-minded people. I can't underestimate the importance of that one. And that means not only the people that you spend in a day-to-day basis, but also mentors. Super important. I think embracing the idea of continuing education, be it informal or formal. So that doesn't mean going back to get an MBA or going back to school, but it means constantly, whatever career you're in, always reading books, articles, or whatever it takes to make sure that you're continually evolving, because I think in the digital age, everything is moving so quickly. We all have to have the ability to absorb information quickly and to evolve rapidly. Finally, and this one may sound crazy, but just making sure, on a person getting personal, I think your choice of a life partner is extremely important. So for me, my wife has been a huge impact in my life and helped to kind of steady me. And so now that we have a family, it's just been fantastic. So kind of bringing that sort of work-life balance into play, it's extremely important as if you're in the business world, I think.
Yes, wow. That is definitely useful words of wisdom. Dr. Mark McKenna, thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate you so very much. Let the audience know if they want to find out more info on OVME or of you.
So our website for OVME, it's O as in Oscar, V as in Victor, M as in Mary, E as in Edward, OVME.com. Check the website out, or you can find me at drmarkmckenna.com, or just you can find us very easily on Facebook or Instagram. We're not hard to find.
Sounds like a plan. We appreciate you so very much.
Thank you, Ash, for having me, and nice talking with you.
No, it's been awesome talking with you as well. And thank you guys for downloading the show. This show would not be anything without you guys, so I appreciate you so very much. Keep in mind, anyone to tell you that you can't do what you want to do, you look them square in the face and tell them, don't believe me, just watch. Watch what I do. Watch me make it happen. Watch me make history. That's what we're doing this for. We're doing this for the history books. Social media is nice, but real life is so much better. Until next time, you guys.